Welcome back to the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Apple, Spotify, or Google, please leave a 5-star rating and review. It supports the podcast and it doesn't cost you anything. This content is brought to you by Uphold, which is a great platform that I've been using since 2017. You can buy, sell, trade, and earn cryptocurrencies on Uphold. You can also trade precious metals and equities. They have 10 plus million users, 250 plus cryptocurrencies, and they're available in 150 countries. As with all exchanges, you can buy and sell on them, but I highly recommend you custody your own crypto, not your keys, not your coins. If you'd like to learn more, please visit the link in the description. All right, my friends, I want to start off with Jim Cramer because he's been on a tweet storm here. He tweeted out today, "I reiterate, it is a bull market." And of course, you want to do the opposite of what Jim Cramer says, right? That's why there's a Jim Cramer inverse ETF. You do the exact opposite of him and you can make out very well. The data, the facts all show that Jim Cramer is pretty much smoke and mirrors for the retail investors, but not for educated investors, smart money who look at the charts, look at the fundamentals, and not pay attention to Jim Cramer. So he tweeted that out as the S&P 500 was pumping, and then right as he tweeted, you had a correction. It's so funny how the timing works with him, and the same thing with the crypto market. And here Kellum tweeted out, "Inverse Jim Cramer nailing it the exact time." It's just remarkable how this guy is such a bull and bear signal. It's just funny. He has become a meme. But it was a really volatile day for the markets. If we look at the Bitcoin chart here, Fed Jerome Powell did talk about inflation and how they're going to look to continue to raise rates and yada, yada. Look, I'm focused on the macro, so I don't care about these short-term swings. Sure, I'm looking at the charts to see what Bitcoin is doing as far as building support levels to work its way up, or if it's going to roll over and test the lows again. Sure, I'm looking at that, but I'm not stressing over it is what I'm saying, because I'm not day trading. I'm just looking for the support levels for us to continue to move up. Maybe Bitcoin does the retracement to $40,000 to $50,000 by May, June or so of this year, and altcoins have a rally. But this is not, once again, a move to all-time highs. This is simply a move to the retracement levels. Then we pull back. Then it's a slow, steady grind into 2024 where we have the Bitcoin halving. And then the next bull market starts rolling into 2025. So that's what I'm looking at, guys. And I hope you understand my perspective and why you have to leave your emotions to the side and be patient. It's so important. So right now, Bitcoin is over $23,200 again. And, we're seeing some small green movements here across the board. And we'll see how things progress. Hopefully things continue to move upwards, but we are in a very different macroeconomic cycle with inflation, rate hikes, and all the things that have been going on. But as I've stated, there's light at the end of the tunnel. The Fed is ramping down. Their foot is on the brake here. They're going to pause rate hikes later this year. And then rolling into 2024, they'll probably cut rates and then, start the money printer again, guys, because that's the economy, the debt-based system that we live in. And the Fed can only destroy wealth, so much before people start revolting, right? When you have real estate down, stocks down, crypto, and so forth, they have to keep the show going, guys. The music has to keep playing, and you'll see a lot of political theater with the debt ceiling. But they're going to raise the debt ceiling. That's all political theater. That's to distract people from the fact of what the Fed is actually doing in printing money. Because if people really, the average Joe and Jane, understood that the more money they print, the more their currency is debased. That's what caused inflation. Now, they'll lie. They'll say it's Putin, it's this and that, and yada, yada, right? But once you understand economics and the monetary policy, it's clear as day. This is why you want to be in assets like crypto, like stocks, like real estate, where those assets appreciate over time to help you offset inflation, and not only offset, but grow your wealth. And this is why I created this podcast to share these facts, these educational items, so people can make better decisions versus, staying in the same system and thinking, oh, I'm going to leave my money under my mattress, or I'm going to leave it in the savings account, right? That's not going to get you anywhere with the rate at which they're printing money. So hope you guys get that. Now, today was a huge day for altcoins, guys. We got some huge news. Very bullish. 2 coins which are in my portfolio. We're going to talk about HBAR and Algorand. First is HBAR. We got Dell. Yes, Dell, the tech giant, joining the Hedera Governing Council. So this was announced by the Hbar Foundation today. Dell joins, of course, Google, LG, IBM, and many other big names. And I hold HBAR in my portfolio. Many of you know about this. I've been accumulating HBAR over the years, and it's a coin I'm very bullish on. And I think it's going to do really well as the crypto asset class and industry grows. I think it's more of a long-term hold, but we could see some really big price movements in the next bull market. Let me give you some details on this. So, tech giant Dell will join the likes of Google, FIS, and Aberdeen on the governing council of the enterprise network Hedera, a distributed ledger technology that uses a hash graph consensus mechanism. Here's a quote. Now you're seeing a whole industry start to grow. Lots of investment, said David Furtura, Senior Director of Technology Strategy at Dell. And for us, it becomes more and more serious for us to pay attention and focus on this. As part of the governing council, Dell will run a consensus node, which is used to determine transaction ordering. Members of the governing council also manage the software related to the network. Here's a quote. The node was actually part of the learning exercise we're going through, Furtura said. We're doing this to understand policy implications and processes. What does it take to be part of a permissioned public ledger? And then for our IT, how do we actually operationalize this? I can go into all the glorious details, but it takes a lot. Dell also intends to leverage the Hedera network within applications, but that's still in the early days. Here's a quote. As far as any use case, I think it's a little premature. Furtura said, as we get our steam rolling, maybe later this year, we'll see some more, but right now, let's get on the council. Folks, this is very, very big for Hedera. Look at the names that are part of this, right? Google, Boeing, and IBM, and LG, and so forth, and obviously Dell. I mean, massive companies that have been around a long time before crypto, and they are part of Hedera's governing council. They're going to use the Hedera network. And some of you may say, well, hey, how where's the HBAR token? How does the HBAR token get used? Well, for those of you who are new, here's what's happening. There's many layers to this. Yes, they can outright use the token if they need to move money and so forth, but many of them are still figuring out their use cases and how they want to use it, right? But network adoption, Metcalfe's law, the more builders, the more transactions, the more participants on the network, the higher the value of the network will be. And if you have a native token on that network, which is HBAR, the higher the value of the token is going to be, right? It's pretty straightforward. I know sometimes that concept is hard for people to understand. And it's like, I've often talked about Facebook in the early days, before they even monetized anything, the company was valued in at millions of dollars, right? Why? It had adoption and it had people using it, right? And when you have, once again, Metcalfe's law, network adoption, you have people building, using, transacting, there is value there. And what's going to happen, the native token is going to help grease the network, right? To create value for people to be able to transact and use it. So this is why it's not always, okay, they have to outright use the token. They don't have to do that. They just have to use the network. And the native token will increase in value. We've seen that with Ethereum and many other blockchains. So very bullish news here. I don't know if I have any HBARians listening or, HBAR holders. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments what you think about this. I think this is huge. This is a very big name. And the folks at Hedera continue to do some great things. I've interviewed one of the co-founders of HBAR or Hedera, and that is Mans Harmon. I've also interviewed Shane, who's CEO of the HBAR Foundation. So huge news all around, very exciting. And the HBAR token price did pop a bit today. Nothing to call home about or write home about, but we did see a big jump here for the price. So, we're seeing some alts following interesting retracement pattern. So, we can see some price action overall. And, but I think the next time we're going to see major fireworks will be in the next bull market. Now, let's move ahead to Algorand. It's another token that I hold in my portfolio. And we got news here that Algorand Foundation announces broad-reaching partnerships in India to grow Web3. So what you're going to see, a lot of these blockchain projects are going to go to different markets around the globe. That's great news. You want to see expansion, right? It's not just a US thing. It's not just a UK thing. There are a lot of markets out there, such as India, where they're primed for adoption of crypto and blockchain because they're not starting, many of them are starting at lower levels than, let's say, the US and the UK, and they don't have to go through a lot of red tape and a lot of politics and so forth. They can really adopt this technology faster. And, they don't have a lot of incumbents fighting as well, right? Here in the United States, there's a lot of incumbents. There's banks and all these folks who don't like what's happening. They don't like the disruption. And that's a natural part of markets, right? And economies. But, these other countries, many countries across Africa and India and so forth, they will adopt this technology faster. So great to see the folks at Algorand are making the move here. So let me give you guys the details. With India set to surpass China as the world's most populous country this year, the foundation is committed to supporting the creation of employment opportunities and solutions that serves India's vibrant population. Algorand is the first layer 1 blockchain protocol to partner with T-Hub, India's premier innovation hub with 600 plus corporate partners, including Intel, AWS, Boeing, Meta, Microsoft, Cisco, among others. This partnership will support startups and established companies building high-impact, scalable blockchain-based solutions. See the names that are mentioned there, guys? They're part of that innovation hub, and they're the first layer 1 blockchain to be part of that. So they have their foot in the door here with these different folks, with Intel and Microsoft and so forth. And while Microsoft may be working with Ethereum and other folks, they may do different things in different markets, right? That is customized to the respective country and economy. So Algorand could get big adoption here. And I think, once again, India is one of those countries that has a lot of potential. And as they mentioned here, it's about to surpass China as the world's most populous country. Here's a quote. T-Hub and Telangana state are committed to supporting a Web3 ecosystem for entrepreneurs, developers, and creators. Our new partnership with Algorand, especially given the sustainability and real-world utility of its blockchain in a market like India, is strong evidence that said MS Rao T-Hub CEO, I probably butchered his name. This partnership will help our ecosystem scale globally and access capital from around the world. This is pretty big, guys. This is pretty big. In addition, Algorand will act as a technology partner for the new $50 million Global Climate Resilience Fund launched by the Clinton Foundation and its Clinton Global Initiative, with SEWA as a founding partner geared towards helping women micro-entrepreneurs address climate change. SEWA is the largest trade union in India with more than 2.1 million female workers. So smart move by the Algorand Foundation, getting their foot in the door, working with local hubs and developers and innovators, and positioning Algorand for adoption. So you have the developers, the creators, and all these folks building on the Algorand blockchain. And once again, to my analogy or example that I give, there's no mention of, they're going to outright use the algo token. That's probably going to happen here and there. But once again, it's the network adoption. The building on the blockchain will drive its value up and drive the native token algo up. So hope you guys see why this is bullish, why this is great. Remember, think Facebook, right? network adoption. The more users, the more building, the more valuable it becomes. And here's an example of what I've been talking about for years, the token economy. MasterCard CEO said just recently, I think we're going to have a world where everything will be tokenized and will be passed around in a safe fashion. Folks, the world will run on blockchain. Everything will be tokenized, 24/7 trading on the markets, no opening and closing bell, global markets, and fractionalization of assets and secondary markets, and your data, you will be able to monetize it and protect it. That's where we're headed, folks. It's going to take time, but you got some of the biggest companies, right? Some who've been around for a long time, these credit card companies, these tech companies, and they are now focused on Web3, on crypto, on blockchain. Now, here's a great example of how the crypto industry is growing. CNBC put out content here. Here's what you need to know if you want to work or you want to get a job in crypto. I love seeing things like this because it shows there's growth, guys. And this was released just yesterday. There's growth. It's now a focus. It's no longer taboo to talk about crypto. It's no longer taboo to suggest you can go work or build or invest, right? You see how the change has happened, especially those of you who've been here a long time. I've been here since 2016. Boy, was it taboo to say something like this back then, right? And now it's like, it's par for the course. The industry's booming. Big names are here, big players, big investors. They're gonna, it's just gonna be a part of society now where people are not going to second guess crypto. It's just gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna go work at this crypto company, or I'm gonna start my own crypto company, right? This is the Web3 tech boom, like you had in Web 1.0 and Web 2.0. You had those booms, new companies, new jobs, and new Goliaths in the markets will be launched, right? Like the Amazons of Web3, the Googles of Web3. So it's just exciting what's happening, guys. Some people don't see these things because they're not looking at the macro. They're looking at the micro. Oh no, my coin is down right now. It's the bear market. But you got to look beyond that, right? That's the market volatility and roller coaster ride is par for the course. When you zoom out from a macro level, it'll give you the confidence, it'll give you the perspective to keep holding and to understand what's happening here. Now, with the disruption that crypto brings, you're going to have a lot of incumbents fight. We got news here that the SEC, as well as state banking regulators, are squeezing banks to backdoor reduce crypto use and adoption in the US. Rather than take continued public regulatory action, they are cutting off USD spigots, acting just short of said public actions. So we're seeing, guys, and yesterday we talked about the Binance news where Binance had to turn off USD withdrawals. I think it starts today or tomorrow, and withdrawals and deposits. And that's a sign that, these banks are getting the squeeze from different regulators. My hope is Congress can step in here. I don't know how big or bad this is going to get. Nick Carter also weighed in on this. So we're going to see, guys. I don't want to spread FUD or, start a panic, but we're starting to see some pushback here. And this is, once again, due to that idiot Sam Bankman-Fried. Don't get me wrong. It's not just him, but he was certainly a big catalyst. But it was also Celsius and all these guys. So hopefully, the likes of BlackRock and BNY Mellon and Fidelity, these big players who are here and entered the market, recently, they can help lobby and push back on the OCC and these folks, because it looks like we're getting a mixture of things here. And here's some other items. Here, the user Andrew tweeted out that expecting news to break that the OCC has denied Paxos Global's application for banking charter. In addition, I think they're looking to do something with Morgan Stanley. They said Morgan Stanley could be the next high-profile target of the Fed and crypto. And the OCC coming after their facilitation of client crypto exposure via Galaxy Digital and NYDIG. So the hammer is falling a little bit here, guys. Let's monitor this. It's not good. Once again, crypto is not going anywhere. It's not going to get banned. What is the saying, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win, right? We're definitely in that then they fight you stage, We're starting to see the pushback because crypto is getting so big. It's moving so fast. Disruption is happening, but we've seen throughout history, they can't stop it. They may slow it down. Don't get me wrong. They may slow it down. That's what Gary Gensler, the SEC, is trying to do, but they can't stop it. Crypto is not a U.S. market. It's a global market. And they try to do anything crazy, it will still find a way. We've seen that time and time again. If you just look at simple things like the music download industry and how companies who tried to fight it, but eventually they had to adopt the model, right? That, okay, yeah, music will be online and you're not going to be able to outright stop file sharing and these things. But they did sue people and they did go after people and they did slow it down. They tried to do takedowns, but new file sharing sites popped up. They couldn't stop it, right? That's what's going to happen here if they try to go draconian. We're going to have to fight. We're going to have to contact our representatives. We're going to have to keep pushing, but let's see what happens. I am optimistic, and there are people in Congress who are ready to help fight and do the right thing here. But once again, just a heads up, not to start fear or fight or whatever, but just heads up. We're seeing some pushback here. And once again, we are in that they will fight you phase. So anyway, guys, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button, share this video, and I'll talk to you all later.